Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Please subscribe and like them please. Game week 2 of the League 2 predictions then. Yes, Dan couldn't join me yet again this week for any of the predictions unfortunately, because he has been busy with work. He won't even be joining me for Game week 1 Premier League predictions, but hope to have him back soon for the predictions. But yes, of course, League 2, Game Week 2 predictions. It was interesting last weekend in Game Week 1, and, the weeks are just going to go fast now, and yeah, let's get straight into this. So then we start off with Bristol Rovers versus Newport County, and Bristol Rovers, of course, lost 3-2 against York. I think it was a late goal to win it for York. I actually watched a bit of it, not much. I was just turning through the games because I think most games was quite boring, but this game wasn't when I turned over. Yeah, 3-2 win, 3-2 defeat for Bristol Rovers. Newport, however, won 3-0 against Rochdale at home. Of course, I said Bristol Rovers will beat York, and I said Newport will lose against Rochdale, and that didn't happen. It went the other way, but I don't think Newport, they'll fight to stay up again, and I think they might be a bit better though, but I don't know much about their manager, of course. I think they could even surprise some people. But I think going to Bristol Rovers, I think in front of that home crowd, it's going to be hard for Newport to get anything. I think they'll give it a go. I just think Steve Evans is a really good manager. So I'm going to go Bristol Rovers 2, Newport 1. 2-1 win to Bristol Rovers. Dan has actually said a clean sheet for Bristol Rovers, and he said 2-0 to Bristol Rovers. Next game is Salford against Chesterfield. Then, of course, Salford. They, of course, what was their score on the weekend? They, of course, lost 3-1 against Barnet. What ain't good for them. Chesterfield, I think, didn't a draw. Let me have a look. I think they drawn, did they? There you go. Chesterfield. They lost 1-0 against Fleetwood. That was it. In my eyes, I can see this going all three ways, to be fair. I think it's a tough place to go to Salford. I know they lost in the first week and they was really poor. I've seen some highlights. They were poor defensively. And they need to try and be better if they're going to be up there at the end of the season. I think I'll back them to finish 4th, 5th, I think. No, 5th, I think. And I bet Chesterfield to finish 4th. I backed both teams to be really in that top 5. And yeah, but Dan is back in Salford to win this 2-1. I'm going to go down the middle and go a 1-1 draw. I think both teams, are tight. I think both teams are going to still be up there at the end of the season. So I think a 1-1 draw. Next game is Walsall against Grimsby. And Walsall, of course, scoring 3 late goals against Gillingham to win 3-0 at Gillingham. However, for Grimsby, what was Grimsby? So I keep forgetting what score was. Grimsby beat Exeter 1-0. What was a really good win from them, scoring in the 36th minute. For them, I feel like this is going to be a very tough game to predict. Yes, I do think Walsall are going to win at home. I just think they have I think they're going to get playoffs this season. I think they're going to be better than last season. They've got a good manager in Lee Grant. I rate him a lot. I think they've got some really good players in that. I think they signed someone yesterday as well. They've, I think a goalkeeper. They've made some really good signings this window. So I feel like Walsall going to win here, but I think both teams going to be up there at the end of the season. I think I'll back Grimsby to Shropper. I think I said 9th or 10th, did I? Where did I actually back Grimsby? Let's have a look, shall we? I backed Grimsby to finish. I backed Grimsby to finish 11th. And I backed Walsall to finish in 7th. So yeah. For this game, I'm going to go Walsall to get a clean sheet at home and win 2-0. Dan has actually said 2-1 win to Walsall, so both going with Walsall to win that. Next game is Colchester against Oldham then. I think this is going to be an interesting game. Oldham, of course, getting a really good win against Port Vale, winning 2-0. And Colchester, of course, drawing against Accrington Stanley 2-2. So both teams coming off with good results. Of course, Oldham probably coming off with a better result because, of course, winning and getting a clean sheet. But Colchester away from home, you take that. It's a tricky game, this, because I think they could go anyway. Dan is actually going with a 1-1 draw. I can see why. I can see Colchester nicking it, but I just think Oldham have a better squad depth, and I think they're going to nick this 2-1. I think Oldham going to win 2-1. For both teams, I backed Oldham to just miss out on the playoffs, finishing in 8th. And Colchester, I actually said they'll drop off really bad, finishing in 17th. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Next game is Crewe against Northampton. Northampton coming off with a 0-0 draw against Swindon, I think it was. And Crewe coming off with a 1-0 win against Crawley. That was last minute, that was. Of course, Crawley went down to 10 men, I think, and Crewe went down to 10 men after they scored or something. Yeah, I think this is going to be a tight game because Crewe, both teams nearly actually drawn 0-0. Like, Crewe nearly drawn 0-0, so it would have been 0-0 against 0-0. For both teams this season, I've said Crewe will drop off a bit and finish in 14th or similar to last season. For Northampton, I'm pretty sure I'll back them to get 3rd. I think that might be a bad decision from me. Because I just don't think they're going to finish down. I've seen loads of people put them down there. But Dan is actually going with 2-1 to Crewe. I'm going to go with a draw and go 1-1. I think that's going to be a tight game. Next game is Exeter versus Accrington Stanley, and Exeter losing 1-0 against Grimsby last time out. Accrington drawing 2-2 against Colchester. This is going to be a tight game. I feel like Exeter going to get that clean sheet though and win at home in front of their home fans to get their first win. I'm going to back Exeter to win this 2-0. I just have a feeling. For both teams this season, I'll back Accrington to finish 19th, but with how their window gone, they could finish higher. With Exeter, I think I'll back them to win the league. So we'll have to wait and see for that. Dan has actually said 3-0 to Exeter, so he reckons quite a comfortable win. Next game is Fleetwood against Gillingham. Fleetwood, really good 3 points against Chesterfield, winning 1-0. And of course, Gillingham losing 3-0 at Walsall, what I did get right. Yeah, I think this is going to be one of them games where it could be a poor game. Dan has actually said a 1-1. I'm just going to back Fleetwood at home to win this 1-0 to get another 1-0 and another clean sheet. For both teams this season, I backed Gillingham to finish 20th, and I backed Fleetwood to finish 15th, where they always finish, but we'll have to wait and see. And yeah. Next game is Port Vale versus Tranmere. Then Port Vale losing 2-0 against Oldham and Tranmere winning 2-0 against Dewsbury, what I did get right. Yeah, I think this is going to be a very tight game. You know, I've had lads off from Tranmere fans for where I did put them because they've made so many signings, but every time I say they'll get playoffs or near there, they do crap. So, you know, of course I did back Tranmere to finish in 21st, and they take on Port Vale back to finish 2nd. I think Port Vale is going to nick this 2-1, and I think it's going to be a late goal from the Port Vale first home game. Dan has actually said clean sheet to Port Vale, and he's gone 2-0 to Port Vale. Next game is Rochdale versus Crawley. Rochdale can losing 3-0 against Newport. Crawley losing 1-0 against Crew. Yeah, I think Crawley could do better this season. I think they look okay. They look quite a lot. You know, loads of people put them to finish down there, same with me. But I think they could do better. They've got a good manager in Colin. And I just think they've got a good team. I watched them against York. I thought they were very good. I've seen the highlights against Watford. I thought they looked okay against the Championship side, by the way. And I watched the highlights against Crewe, and I think they looked good. Even, you know, they went down to 10 men, and that probably what made them lose that game. But yeah. For both teams, of course, I did back Crawley to finish in 22nd and Rochdale to finish in 10th. But I think Rochdale could finish lower with how their first game gone, but it's only a first game. But at home, I think Rochdale are going to win this 2-0 clean sheet for the Dale. Dan has actually said 2-1 to Rochdale. Next game is Rotherham against York, then a Yorkshire derby. The first away day in the Football League for York City. Of course, they beat Bristol over this first game 3-2, and I thought they was excellent. I thought the attack looked really good. The wingers, yeah, really good from York. However, Rotherham lost 2-1 against Cheltenham. I think York are going to batter Rotherham here. I don't know why. I've just got a feeling Dan is actually going 2-1 York. I've actually said more comfortably, and I'm saying 3-0 to York. I just think they're going to smash them, really. I don't think Rotherham are that great. That's why I put them 16th in the table. For York, I put them in 6th. We'll see how Scott Lindsay do, but I know some people don't rate him. And York, of course, we all know they shouldn't have sat Stuart Maynard, but we'll have to wait and see. Next game is Shrewsbury against Barnet then. I think this could be one of them games where it could go all 3 ways, to be fair. Shrewsbury, what was the Shrewsbury score? I keep forgetting the scores on some teams. Let's have a look. Shrewsbury FC, they, of course, oh yeah, they lost 2-0 against Tranmere. I don't know how I forgot that. And of course, Barnet winning 3-1 against Salford. Dan is actually going 2-0 Barnet. He's a clean sheet. I do think Barnet will get a clean sheet. Of course, they looked really good against Salford. I watched them last night as well in the, what is it, Bristol Street Motors / Pizza Cup? I don't even know what it called anymore, but they of course beat Arsenal under 21s 5-1. And they look good. Yes, it's only Arsenal under 21s, but the attack looks really good. They've got a great bench as well, so I'm gonna go Shrewsbury 0, Barnet 1, 1-0 win to Barnet. But it wouldn't surprise me if Barnet score another 3 or 4 goals here. But yeah, 1-0 win to Barnet. For both teams borrowed this season, I put Shrewsbury to finish 23rd, so to go down, and for Barnet, I put them to finish 9th. I think they finished 8th last season, but yeah. And then the last game is Swindon against Cheltenham. Of course, Cheltenham picking up all 3 points, winning against Rotherham 2-1. Swindon, of course, drawing 0-0. Both teams coming up with good results, to be fair. So I think they could be a high scoring draw, but I ain't going to go that. I just think home advantage for Swindon to win this 2-1. I do think Swindon will win 2-1. For both teams this season, I have said Swindon will chop off because they've had loads of injuries in pre-season. I'll put them to finish in 12th. Cheltenham, I'll put them to finish in 18th. So if they do get anything here, and I think the first 4 game weeks will decide what am I doing with the table. First 5 weeks of this league. But yeah, I have said 2 on Swindon. Dan is actually going Swindon to get a clean sheet and to win 2-0. So there you go, guys. Then on League 2, Game Week 2. I hope you enjoy this video. Please subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next one.